Good morning, philosophy people. Hope you're having a great day. Let's get into it. Let's see. We're talking about his adopted father, Marcus's adopted father, and he's got 3 pages of things he learned from him. His willingness to take adequate care of himself. Not a hypochondriac or obsessed with his appearance, but not ignoring things either. You hear my phone? My phone is... Oh my god. Okay. Phone's still going off like nuts. YouTube notifications now. I've got to put a stop to this. Oh man, day 3 of my one-day attempt to take control of myself away from my phone is not going well. Okay. Ah, man. The daily thought has turned into the week thought, I guess. I don't know. All right. Not a hypochondriac or obsessed with his appearance, but not ignoring things either, with the result that he hardly ever needed medical attention or drugs or any sort of salve or ointment. This in particular, his willingness to yield the floor to experts in oratory, law, psychology, whatever, and to support them energetically so that each of them could fulfill his potential. That he respected tradition without needing to constantly congratulate himself for safeguarding our traditional values. Not prone to go off on tangents or pulled in all directions, but sticking with the same old places and same old things. The way he could have one of his migraines and then go right back to what he was doing, fresh and at the top of his game. That he had so few secrets, only state secrets, in fact, and not all that many of those. The way he kept public actions within reasonable bounds, games, building projects, distributions of money, and so on, because he looked to what needed to be doing and not the credit to be gained from doing it. No bathing at strange hours. Okay. No self-indulgent building projects. No concern for food, or the cut and color of his clothes, or having attractive slaves. Jesus. The robe, I guess if slavery was a thing, you would treat them, you would think of them like accessories, like everything else. Good Lord. The robe from his farm at Lorium, most of the things at Lanuvium, the way he accepted the customs agent's apology at Tusculum, etc. He never exhibited rudeness, lost control of himself, or turned violent. No one ever saw him sweat. Everything was to be approached logically and with due consideration, in a calm and orderly fashion, but decisively and with no loose ends. I like that paragraph partially. Never exhibiting rudeness. Never losing control, turning violent. I'm not sure no one seeing him sweat is a bad thing. Like, it's important to get some work in every once in a while. Everything, and I appreciate approaching everything logically, obviously, with due consideration, calmly, orderly, decisively, with no loose ends. That's really good. You could have said of him, as they say of Socrates, that he knew how to enjoy and abstain from things that most people find it hard to abstain from, and all too easy to enjoy. Strength, perseverance, self-control in both areas, the mark of a soul in readiness. Indomitable. Maximus's illness. All right, next. The next section. Oh no, the same section. Now we're going to write about what he learned from the gods after I get my coffee that I left on the other side of the room. Unacceptable. Man. All right. Sorry. The gods. That I had good grandparents, a good mother and father, a good sister, good teachers, good servants, relatives, friends, almost without exception, and that I never lost control of myself with any of them, although I had it in me to do that, and I might have easily. But thanks to the gods, I was never put in that position, and so escaped the test. That I wasn't raised by my grandfather's girlfriend for longer than I was. That I didn't lose my virginity too early and didn't enter adulthood until it was time to put it off even. Now what is dinging? Stop dinging! Discord. Man, I gotta close Discord. Just leave all this stuff closed. Closing it all now. Goodbye. I'm not holding the reins of my notifications yet. They're still holding me. Where was I? I didn't lose my virginity too early and didn't enter adulthood until it was time. Put it off even. That I had someone as a ruler and as a father who could keep me from being arrogant and make me realize that even at court you can live without a troop of bodyguards and gorgeous clothes, lamps, sculptures, the whole charade. That you can behave almost like an ordinary person without seeming slovenly or careless as a ruler or when carrying out official obligations. That I had the kind of brother I did. One whose character challenged me to improve my own. One whose love and affection enriched my life. That my children weren't born stupid or physically deformed. Okay, all right. I mean, I guess if, yeah, that's something to thank the gods for. Though, sorry, anyway. That I wasn't more talented in rhetoric or poetry or other areas. If I'd felt that I was making better progress, I might never have given them up. That I conferred on the people who brought me up the honors they seemed to want early on instead of putting them off, since they were still young, with the hopes that I'd do it later. That I knew Apollonius and Rusticus and Maximus. That I was shown clearly and often what it would be like to live as nature requires. That's the second time I've had that, and I've highlighted it both times, and I even noted it in my journal yesterday. To live as nature requires. I need to figure out what they meant by that. I'm just highlighting it so I don't forget it. The gods did all they could through their gifts, their help, their inspiration, to ensure I could live as nature demands. Same thing. Nature requires, nature demands. And if I failed, it's no one's fault but mine, because I didn't pay attention to what they told me, to what they taught me, practically, step by step. That my body has held out, especially considering the life I've led. That I've never laid a finger on Benedicta or on Theodotus, and that even later, when I was overcome by passion, I recovered from it. That even though I was often upset with Rusticus, I never did anything I would have regretted later. That even though she died young, at least my mother spent her last years with me. That whenever I felt like helping someone who was short of money or otherwise in need, I never had to be told that I had no resources to do it with. And that I was never put in that position myself of having to take something from someone else. That I have the wife I do, obedient, loving, and humble. That my children had competent teachers. Remedies granted through dreams when I was coughing blood, for instance, and having fits of dizziness. And the one at Cayeta. That when I became interested in philosophy, I didn't fall into the hands of charlatans and didn't get bogged down in writing treatises or becoming absorbed by logic chopping or preoccupied with physics. All things for which we need the help of fortune and the gods. Logic chopping. Where was that? Let me look that up real quick. We're gonna have a momentary aside because I just recorded a fallacy video for Shepard's channel. And one of them was logic chopping. And I had not heard of that before under that name. And it was interesting. Give me 1 second, I'll find it. Logic chopping. Just in case fallacy, nope. Limited depth, nope. Limited, here we go, logic chopping. Also known as smokescreen, quibbling, splitting hairs, nitpicking, and trivial objections. That's what it is. Trivial objections. So like, for example, John says, "Can you please help me push my car to the side of the road until the tow truck comes?" And then Paul says, "Why push it to the side of the road? Why not just leave it?" John says, "It's slowing down traffic unnecessarily where it is." Paul says, "Many things slow down traffic. Do you feel the need to do something about all of them?" John says, "No, but this was my fault." Paul says, "Was it really? Were you the direct cause of your car breaking down?" John says, "Are you going to help me move this damn car or not?" Yeah. Okay. Logic chopping. All right. Okay. That is the end of book 1. How much time do we have left in our read time today? Oh, 5 minutes. Guess we might as well start book 2. This is more of an actual book with long form writing. Okay, book 2. Titled On the River Gran Among the Quadi. Quadi? All right. These are like numbered entries, it looks like. Number 1. When you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, the people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly. Surely. Can't even pronounce English words now. They are like this because they can't tell good from evil. But I have seen the beauty of good and the ugliness of evil, and have recognized that the wrongdoer has a nature related to my own, not of the same blood or birth, but the same mind, and possessing a share of the divine. And so none of them can hurt me. No one can implicate me in ugliness, nor can I feel angry at my relative or hate him. We were born to work together like feet, hands, and eyes, like the 2 rows of teeth, upper and lower. To obstruct each other is unnatural. To feel anger at someone, to turn your back on him, these are obstructions. Boy, never have I more precisely agreed with about 50% of something a paragraph said. The Stoic, this is a very popular Stoic quote. The people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly. Thinking ahead on the day that you're about to have and about the people you're going to interact with will better prepare you to handle those interactions efficaciously and get the outcomes that you're looking for. I'm not sure. Nor can I feel angry at my relative or hate him. We were born to work together like feet, hands, blah, blah, blah. To obstruct each other is unnatural. To feel anger at someone, to turn your back on him, these are obstructions. I think there's well, I've talked about this many times, right? There's the 3 unquestionable authorities: government, God, and family. And this is probably just an evidence of that. That's probably why that stuck in my craw as it went by. Just because somebody shares your genes doesn't mean that they deserve your love, affection, sacrifice. They need to do that independently. You need to, I would suggest, I try and have the same standard for all of my relationships, no matter whether or not genes are shared. Okay, number 2. Whatever this is that I am, it is flesh and a little spirit and an intelligence. Throw away your books. Stop letting yourself be distracted. That is not allowed. Instead, as if you were dying right now, despise your flesh. A mess of blood, pieces of bone, a woven tangle of nerves, veins, arteries. Consider what the spirit is, air, and never the same air, but vomited out and gulped in again every instant. Finally, the intelligence. Think of it this way. You are an old man. Stop allowing your mind to be a slave, to be jerked about by selfish impulses, to kick against fate and the present, and to mistrust the future. Number 3. What is divine is full of providence. Even chance is not divorced from nature, from the inweaving and enfolding of things governed by providence. Everything proceeds from it. And then there is necessity and the needs of the whole world of which you are a part. Whatever the nature of the whole does, and whatever serves to maintain it, is good for every part of nature. The world is maintained by change, in the elements and in the things they compose. That should be enough for you. Treat it as an axiom. Discard your thirst for books, so that you won't die in bitterness, but in cheerfulness and truth, grateful to the gods from the bottom of your heart. Well, maybe he's talking about, I don't know, wasteful books or like cartoons or something like that. Number 4. Remember how long you've been putting this off, how many extensions the gods gave you, and you didn't use them. At some point, you have to recognize what world it is that you belong to, what power rules it, and from what source you spring, that there is a limit to the time assigned you, and if you don't use it to free yourself, it will be gone and it will never return. All right, that's enough for today. Whew. Today has so far been rushing at me. Been a million things that have already happened this morning. I'm not controlling the day right now. The day is controlling me, just like my freaking cell phone and computer notifications. So my thought right now, the only one in my head, is to start writing this day, because right now it's writing me. I've got, in a good way, like there's a lot of good stuff happening today. It's not like there's a bunch of terrible, hard, difficult, tragic stuff, but I'm not the one in control of the flow right now. And, well, this is one of my few remaining days, so I want to control it. I want this to be my day instead of this day making me its bitch. So that's what I'm about to get to it, guys. A lot of cool stuff happening for me today. A lot of exciting possibilities this week, actually, like life trajectory changing possibilities for me, and I need to make sure and spend some time on that. Oh man! Also, like there's another thing that just happened this morning. The FGC9 Mark II has dropped, and I was kind of in the middle of the gun project there, and so now I'm gonna have to make sure that I get switched over to working on that instead. Anyway, this is not my journal, guys. Woo, this is one of those days. This is gonna be an awesome day. I'm excited about it, but I need to be in control of it. Have a great day, guys.